Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay. But when it's necessary, I stop them. But when it's not, when it's acceptable, okay, leave it. You're going to learn later on.
Yeah, I teach Korean students, and in Korea, there's a high level of what we call uncertainty avoidance, right? When you're
Mm.
uncertain in a situation,
Mm-hmm.
Korean students tend to avoid. So
Mm-hmm.
they won't talk
I see.
because they're not sure. You know, they might be
Uh,
50-50, but that's
I see.
too risky. I don't want to
I see.
try
I
because I'm
see.
not sure. And that's death for language
Mm.
learning
Okay.
because you cannot grow unless you are willing to take risks and make mistakes. That's the
Absolutely.
only way to be successful at language learning. As a second language learner, obviously
I
first
see.
language you just listen to your parents and you acquire the first language, but the second language it's a little different. And
Absolutely.
a lot of people it depends on the culture. I don't know about
Mm.
Indian culture. What like in Indian culture are people if they're not sure, do they take a risk or will they be reserved and quiet?
Well, I would say 20% people take risks only,
Okay.
20% or 15%.
Yeah.
And as we compare to India with South Korea or another other any Asian non-native speaking country, then
Hmm.
in India people are very smart. They
Yeah.
lots of people they understand. Lots of people understand English, and English is growing more than our GDP.
Wow.
English in
Yeah.
India is
Yeah.
growing more than our GDP
Wow.
ever since lockdown. Ever since lockdown,
Yeah. Yeah.
people have increased. Lots of people learning English language. Lots of, and English is not our second language. I would say English our third language. Basically, my first language is Gujarati. Okay, where I my and my second language is Hindi, and
Right.
English is my third language now.
Right. Right.
But more than this, I can speak other languages as well. Like I can speak 5 to 6 languages,
Oh,
local
wow.
language. Yeah.
Are they local languages like within India or do you speak some like European languages?
No, 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 no. Because that's not worthy for us. That's
Yeah.
because European also learning the English language. So then
Right.
that's not gonna worthy
What's the
for us.
point? Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the point of learning this language?
Yeah.
So as you know, India is a huge country. Each state has their own language. So
Yeah.
my state is Gujarat, so my language is Gujarati. If I go Maharashtra, they're Marathi. If I go Bangla, we call Kolkata, their
Right.
language is different. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Telugu, Urdu. There are different, so many languages that are there. So I can
Yeah.
speak 5 to 6 languages.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah,
And also, you have a historically um acrimonious relationship with English. I mean,
yeah,
because of
yeah.
British imperialism.
British, yes,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
yeah, I can understand why people would be hesitant to want to, but I think it's different now because English has become kind of become an international business language.
Yes,
It's not necessarily the language of empire anymore, but more of
yeah.
a kind of international business language. So maybe the opinions are different, especially among younger people.
Well, we don't think that whatever happened in the past regarding the British Empire. Okay,
Hmm.
we wanted to adopt the language, but the thing is that what happened in our schools that we have the language of English, but the way they teach us, they teach us in our local language. Suppose I'm teaching you English,
Yeah.
but in Hindi language. What's the
Right.
point of it? How can a student learn? They are not following the tactics that
Right.
they should teach the language in English. They
They're
should give
teaching
us a
you like a
point
noun and a verb and an adjective, but it's in your
in our
language,
language, in my
Yeah.
language, and no environment at all. No
Yeah.
environment at all.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's and as you people American toasted the English by your own way, we also wanted to toast, but no one is toasting the English. Are you
Right,
getting my
right.
point? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
Americans have toasted the language of to make the easy to speak, especially passives and conditionals. but we actually using the British English
Yeah, the
in
Queen's
India,
English. Yeah, it's
Queen's English.
a little bit
It's not
more stuffy.
complicated, complicated, not little bit huge. It's a messy. Somehow it's messy. Yeah, absolutely, sir.
American English is a little it's less refined, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but
A little bit easier.
that's
Yeah.
very easier, sir. Very easier to understand as compared to British. And
Yeah.
I follow American English. I do not follow the Elizabeth English.
Well, that's good because yeah, you and I can communicate really well. I'm from America, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's easy for me to talk to you. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Look at
You
the
know,
way
I
we are communicating flawlessly, isn't
flawlessly.
it? Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. We're having
yeah.
a great conversation. Um,
Yes.
I think we're talking about like fear and anxiety. I think, the one good aspect of American culture is I think there's kind of a low uncertainty avoidance. Like Americans are not afraid to take a risk, you know. So
Yeah,
sometimes we're too confident, you know,
yeah.
like we're not
Mhm.
competent, but we
Yeah,
think we can do it, you know. It's
yeah,
maybe too
yeah.
much the other way. But
Hmm.
I think it's good for language learning to have a little bit
Hmm.
of overconfidence,
Yes.
is a good thing. And so I try to encourage my students who are from Asia and the
Hmm.
Middle East and South America.
Hmm.
I tell my students, I'm like, come on, guys, no one, nobody cares. Nobody's
Hmm.
watching. No one cares about you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
We only care about ourselves. You know what
Yes,
I mean? Like,
absolutely. I
yeah,
absolutely. No
nobody's
one
watching.
hears.
Yeah,
Yeah, no one here to evaluate you. Just
right.
relax, have a
Exactly.
fun. I tell my
Yes.
people, let them do what they are doing, and you do what's your business. Don't follow them, don't focus on them. Work on your pronunciation, work on your grammar, you
Absolutely.
know. Yeah,
Yes.
practice only. That's
Yeah.
it.
And
I,
the more you practice, the funny thing about grammar is that what you really want is not necessarily an intellectual understanding of grammar. What you want is an internalized grammar. You
yeah.
want to think in English where
Yes.
you're not in your mind, you're not going subject, verb, object. You
Hmm.
just automatically that the subject goes first, the verb
Yeah.
comes next, and the object or the complement
Hmm.
comes after that. And
Hmm.
so once you have internalized that, you don't
Hmm.
even it's the same reason why if you go to America and you ask 10 American people a
Hmm.
grammar question,
Hmm.
9 of them will get it wrong. We
Yeah.
don't know grammar, but
Yes,
we
absolutely.
internally know it. We
Hmm.
understand it. And probably
I
the
see.
same for your language, native
Hmm.
language as well, right? It's
Yes,
just
absolutely.
yeah.
We don't know. We don't know what's the grammar. If you will
No.
ask me the question about the grammar, about verb, subject, I don't know anything about that.
Right. But
Yeah.
why do we teach grammar so much,
Yes.
like in traditional schools? I don't
Yes.
understand it. It doesn't make sense.
Well, but in my opinion, as far as I have the idea about this, that non-native speaker must have the 50% knowledge of grammar. If they do not have, how could they justify whether I'm speaking right or wrong? That's
Okay.
my belief. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
belief.
That's a good
you
point.
are
Yeah.
you are American. This is your native language. You understand each and everything. But what if I'm gonna I get confused something? If I have the knowledge of grammar, I could justify myself. Yeah, I'm on the right track. I'm speaking accurate and correct English. So
Yeah.
in my point of view, as a non-native speaker, in my point of view, non-native speaker, non-native learner must have the 50% knowledge of grammar.
Okay.
Without this, definitely they're gonna be, they will be in trouble.
They'll be lost. Yeah. So you
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like when you learned English, it did help you to understand some grammar, just as far as like how to organize your sentence, where to,
I
that was
I know
useful information. Yeah.
absolutely. I don't need to ask. I can judge why. Yeah, that's the verb. That's the subject, and but yeah, that's my sentence is right. I
Yeah.
know. I'm 100% damn sure that my sentence is right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I believe, that's my experience, that the non-native speaker must have the 50% knowledge of grammar,
Yeah.
as per my personal point of view, sir.
No, I
I
think
don't
you
know
make a good
what's.
you make a good argument. You make a good
Yeah.
argument, and
Mm,
you're probably right. I
yeah.
think that a lot of this is my cynical kind of assessment of it, is that I think a lot of teachers that teach English in like in Korea,
Mm,
maybe in Japan or in
mm,
China or in India, they can't really speak English either, but they
yeah.
understand the grammar rules really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for them, teaching teaching a kind of a mixed method where you like
Hmm.
some grammar, some listening, some speaking, some reading, some writing.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that
Yeah.
because they feel insecure about
Yeah.
their own speaking ability. So they just focus on grammar, 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 writing,
Yeah.
writing, writing. That's
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Spelling, spelling, spelling. I mean, who cares
Yeah.
about spelling?
Yeah.
Like,
No, no,
doesn't
no.
matter,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then, Mr. Jack, I really, you won't believe that I'm so glad and I'm so happy that you gave me your valuable time, and
Oh,
I really enjoyed. I will definitely put your YouTube channel link description and below. And
oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
I would like to have a conversation again one more time when you have
Yeah,
time,
of course,
maybe.
anytime. It was really,
Yeah.
so much fun for me to talk to you. I'm glad you reached out to me. I really appreciate you putting this interview on your channel.
Hmm.
The time flew by. It felt like 5 minutes,
Oh, look at
We had
that. Look at that.
such an enlightening conversation, and I'm glad we were able to talk about so many different things. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's fantastic.
In the entire conversation, would you feel that I'm calling from you, India, the way I speak?
Oh, I mean, I I don't think in those terms, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Hmm.
I get lost in conversation with people.
Ah,
We're
yeah.
all human.
Yes,
It's
yes.
just two people connecting and having a conversation, and whether, where you're from is
Mm.
not I'm not concerned about that, you
No,
know.
my way, my perspective of asking this question, of my way of pronunciation, that's
Mhm.
my perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, your
Would you
pronunciation
understand?
is excellent. You have excellent
Yeah.
pronunciation. Yeah,
Yeah.
not for one moment did
Hmm.
I have any problem understanding you.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That was my perspective. That was my perspective, that, yeah, that you
Yeah,
understood
we're
whatever I.
communicating on a very high level right now.
Absolutely. And I appreciate your time, and I
Oh,
dedicate with
absolutely.
you.
We'll talk again for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Maybe you can come on my podcast. I would love to interview you for my podcast.
Absolutely, sir. It would be my pleasure as well. That's
All
great.
right.
Anytime you want. Then,
Fantastic.
Mr. Jack, take care.
Arifauto, thank you so much, man. It was great to meet you, and
Same here.
we'll talk again, okay?
Definitely, definitely. Take care. Take
All
care.
right, you
So you
too.
are such a nice person. Bye.
Thanks. Okay.